Good afternoon, class. My name is Devin Brown, and I'm an undergrad here at the University of South Florida. And today we're going to be doing a demonstration on the fluid mechanics principle of buoyancy. So, what buoyancy is really the principle that explains why certain things float in water and why an object would float in a certain fluid but not in another. So, to demonstrate this principle, I have two plain chicken eggs and I have two glasses of water. One of these glasses of water is a plain glass of water. That would be the glass to my right. The glass to my left, on the other hand, is a glass of water that has salt in it. So we have a glass of plain water and we have a glass of salt water. So I'm going to drop these two eggs in here, and what you're going to observe is in the plain glass of water, or the tap water, the egg sinks. In the salt water, the egg floats. So what causes this is the principle that we know as buoyancy or buoyant force. And basically what this is in both of these glasses, there's a buoyant force that's exerted on the bottom of the egg. But in the case of the plain tap water, that buoyant force is less than the force of gravity. So the egg sinks. In the case of the salt water, the buoyant force is greater than the force of gravity, so it floats. I'm going to move to the computer to show a more in-depth analysis of these two situations. But in essence, in salt water, due to the increased density from adding salt, the buoyant force rises, which in turn makes the buoyant force greater than gravity, which allows the egg to float.
So moving to the computer, we have a diagram of that same situation I just demonstrated for you. And we can see that in both of these cases, there's a buoyant force that's pushing up on the egg. So this is the buoyant force. And basically, in the salt water, the force of gravity is smaller than the force of buoyancy. So the egg floats. And this picture does a good job of demonstrating that. But why does this happen? Why does adding salt to the water cause the buoyant force to be larger than gravity? So we know that the force of gravity doesn't change. That's always going to remain the same. But the buoyant force is a product of density, gravity, and the volume of the fluid. So in this particular demonstration, both of these cups had the same volume of water, but what we do is by adding salt, we change the density. So we know that density is a product of mass over volume. And what we are doing when we add salt is we're adding mass. So that is what causes the buoyant force to increase.